Rome's Water and Sewer Committee has approved a plan to put the new reverse osmosis water intake treatment plant directly on Riverside Parkway. We're here with Mike Hackett, the director of the Water and Sewer Division. Mike, tell us about why that decision was made, because as I understand it, originally the thought was maybe to go a little bit further back on the property.
Originally, we had looked at retrofitting the existing plant to build the RO facility within the existing plant and maintain operations while we did that. As time went on, we saw that that was just going to be way too risky, and the risk associated with it for the contractor was such that it was really increasing the cost to mitigate that risk. So ultimately, we got the idea to possibly relocate it as a new construction, and when we did, even though there were increased construction costs, the cost from all the risk associated with building the plant while continuing to operate it, more or less, it proved to be economically neutral. So we were looking at different ways that we could relocate the plant. We had some property behind the DFACS building that was formerly Celanese Corporation. We have received borings and geotechnical information on that. There's some contamination issues, and given the time that we have from EPA to complete the project and be able to meet what we anticipate being a final regulation for PFAS compounds, it just wasn't going to be feasible from a time construction standpoint. So that's why we're currently looking at the property fronting Riverside Parkway. We're waiting for geotechnical information on that to make sure that it can be done and not have to mitigate any type of contamination issues, that the soils are suitable for construction. So hopefully we should have that information back fairly soon. We think that ultimately this is going to be a much safer way to construct the plant and eliminate the risk associated with a retrofit type project. So I think overall it's going to be the best fit for us to move forward with.
And the deadline, as we understand it at this point, from the EPA to be able to meet the 4 parts per trillion treatment anticipated regulation, that is the end of 2025?
I think that they're looking at a end of 25 or maybe first quarter 26. Our current schedule for engineering design and construction puts us a few months ahead of that date, which would give us a little time to start it up and operate and hopefully debug any issues that may be associated with that and get into a groove, if you will, on operating the plant so that we can move toward shutting off the existing plant and going full-time RO.
Now, I understand also that the plan includes continuing to pump water, finished water, up to Blossom Hill to the existing tank that's up there adjacent to, or as part of the current complex.
That's correct. Our entire distribution system is built off of the 4 million gallon tank on top of Blossom Hill where the current plant is located. So we'll need to maintain that continuity of distribution by continuing to pump the finished water to that facility.
One final question for you, Mike. Obviously, we'll be able to return to using the Oostenaula River as a primary water source under this plan. Will there also be a new line from the Etowah to the new treatment to intake center in the event for some reason we need to switch back and forth?
We are going to be constructing a new raw water pump station at the Etowah. Whether or not we'll be able to do the raw water line at this time is uncertain, but ultimately that is the intention.
All right. Thank you much. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.